Tonight on Whether or Not, it's been an active weather week and we've got it all covered for you in Nature in the News. Plus, Reuille Belz is in with this week's feature story, and Christy will be here with the Arts Fest forecast. Whether or Not starts right now. Thank you for joining us. I'm your host, Brad Guay.
And I'm your forecaster, Christy Reuille.
So Christy, big weekend here in State College, Central Pennsylvania, Festival of the Arts, happening this weekend. A lot of people coming up for it. How's the weather going to play out? Is it looking all right?
That's right. It's a pretty big weekend, and it looks like at least the beginning of the weekend we will be seeing good weather for everyone being outside, looking at all the wonderful art displays downtown. But we could get a little bit dicey as we head into the latter part of the weekend.
Yeah, certainly a lot of setup for that Arts Fest underway already, and we'll look forward to the rest of your forecast coming up in just a bit. But for now, here's Nature in the News.
Hurricane Arthur made its way up the coast over the holiday weekend, becoming the earliest hurricane to ever make landfall in North Carolina. Arthur lashed the Outer Banks with wind gusts of up to 100 miles per hour. However, despite some coastal flooding and washed-out roadways, the damage was otherwise minimal. New England also saw some impacts from the early season hurricane. Though the center passed well off the coast of Nantucket, a heavy rain band stalled over eastern Massachusetts. New Bedford, Massachusetts saw severe flash flooding as up to 8 inches of rain fell in a matter of hours.
Typhoon Yugiri roared through the Ryukyu Islands and southern Japan earlier this week. The strongest typhoon yet this season, Yugiri had Category 4 sustained winds of 155 miles per hour on Monday, but it weakened to Category 3 before passing by Okinawa Island. On Okinawa Island, the city of Nago recorded over 17 inches of rain in 24 hours, with 10 inches of that falling in just over 6 hours. Over 540,000 people in Okinawa were advised to seek shelter ahead of the storm. Winds gusted as high as 101 miles per hour on the island, with sustained winds of up to 74 miles per hour during the height of the storm.
New satellite technology aims to improve long-range flood prediction. NASA's Gravity Recovery and Climate Experiment, or GRACE, satellites can measure changes in the gravity field of a given river basin. When the basin has more water content, it shows a higher gravity signal. Using this data, forecasters can better predict potential flood events in situations where snowmelt and high groundwater are the main factors. When GRACE data was applied to the Missouri River floods of 2011, researchers found that they could have predicted the floods months before current forecast models.
A line of storms rolling through the Northeast killed at least 4 on Tuesday night and knocked out power to hundreds of thousands. In Ohio, at least 3 EF1 tornadoes were confirmed, causing minor damage to homes and crops. In New York, a possible tornado caused a home to collapse just outside of Syracuse in Peterborough, killing 3. Meanwhile, here in Pennsylvania, there were several tornado reports in Mercer County in the western part of the state, but there is no confirmation that one actually touched down. A little bit farther to the east, over 200,000 customers were without power in the Philadelphia metro area as strong winds downed trees and power lines.
Thanks, Brad. Well, we've been seeing a relatively active pattern the past several weeks with system after system moving through the area, bringing us another round after round of rain. And one of those systems this past week was of note. On Wednesday, we set a record rainfall here in State College for July the 9th. We saw 1.23 inches of rain, which broke the old record from way back in 1896 of just 0.97 inches of rain in the 24-hour period before that observation this week. But of course, the big question is how will the weather be this weekend for the Central Pennsylvania Festival of the Arts that's here in town all weekend long. And, well, at least for the start of the weekend, it looks like we're going to be seeing some great weather for it here in State College. We see that system that brought us the rain earlier this week making its way off the coast and out into the Atlantic, out of our way. And then back behind it, we have high pressure that's building in that will bring us lovely clear skies for Arts Festival. So if you're heading out to enjoy the bands or the wonderful art that's downtown, it's looking like we have great weather for that, especially on Friday. So be sure to head out and enjoy that. On Saturday, though, we see that high pressure system just move off to our northeast just a bit, which will allow moist air from the south to come up and increase our humidity, so we feel a little bit more humid outside on Saturday if you're heading out to the Arts Festival then. But we will still see relatively clear skies with just a few scattered clouds. Unfortunately, though, you do see off to the west, we have the next system that is ready to make its way into our area, and along with it, it will bring the chance for some rain. So as we look at Sunday, we do see that chance for rain moving into the area, mainly in the afternoon hours. The Arts Festival 5 and 10K races are Sunday morning. Hopefully those can get in before the rain begins here, but it will definitely be cloudy for those. And then if you're enjoying some of the music that's planned for the afternoon downtown, you might want to grab an umbrella as you head out to those. For Friday, though, right here in State College, we're looking at a high of right around 80 degrees and beautiful weather to head outside and enjoy the Arts Festival or any other outdoor activities you might have planned. Maybe you've caught the soccer buzz from the World Cup and want to go play around a soccer. Great weather for that, or anything else outside, so be sure to head outside and enjoy it. Friday night, pleasant night, 63 degrees for our low temperature and relatively clear skies, only a few scattered clouds. So maybe you're more into the Astro Festival that's also going on this weekend in the Department of Astronomy. Pretty good night for looking at the stars as well. And then on Saturday, we should see another great day for the Arts Festival. A bit warmer, high around 84 degrees and mostly sunny. And I did mention the humidity will be a bit higher on Saturday. So be prepared for that. Maybe grab an extra bottle of water as you head out the door. Saturday night, we start to see the clouds moving into our area from that frontal system that will be heading our way on Sunday. So increasing clouds throughout the night, 65 degrees for our low temperature. And then as we head into Sunday, again, the chance of rain starts to make its way into our area. High temperature of right around 81 degrees. Better chance of a thunderstorm in the afternoon hours. So if you want to enjoy the weekend, head outside earlier rather than later. We'll be right back.
That time of the year again when people are outside enjoying the summer conditions.
Whether it is watching a parade, cooling off in the swimming pool, watching fireworks,
or taking your motorcycle for a spin, weather can have a large effect on your summer plans.
if you plan on taking your motorcycle for just a quick spin, or even going on one of the many bike rides throughout the country, you should be prepared for the weather. Weather can be challenging to predict, but simply checking the forecast before you head out can be beneficial.
Oh yeah. I don't mind getting caught in the rain, but I don't want to start.
Motorcyclists have a love for the open road that is like none other. But what if a storm hits while they are driving? Do they continue to drive through it?
I keep going.
Keep going?
Oh yeah.
Yep. Doesn't mind one bit?
Not usually.
This year is the 19th annual American Pride Ride, which is a 100-mile long bike ride throughout the southern tier of New York, northern tier of Pennsylvania, and Finger Lakes region. Over 1,000 motorcyclists participate in this event each year. Riders come from near and far, and many come back year after year.
I've been coming for years.
How many do you have an idea?
About 10.
But weather must always be a concern for organizers because keeping over 1,000 motorcyclists safe is their #1 concern.
Weather is always a main concern because you never know what it's going to be until about 2 days before, and even then it could change.
So we know that Bill May will continue to ride through the rain, but could weather put a damper on the Pride Ride?
The only thing that stops us from continuing with the ride is lightning. If it's a rainstorm, we ride. We just get wet.
Bruce Sermonis has been helping with the Pride Ride for 5 years.
It's been gorgeous every time I've been on it. I believe last year was a little bit warmer, and that was that was rough, but you know, the heat plays an effect just as much as the rain does.
Definitely. With that 100-mile ride, it's going to take a toll on you by the time you get
Oh yeah, and your bikes are hot and heat's rising off of those too.
If the motorcyclists had it their way, they'd prefer to drive when it is.
I like it cool.
Throughout the years, Bill May has experienced some unpleasant weather conditions.
Well, one year it was really hot. I mean, it was like 98 or something like that. It catches up with you after. There you go.
The weather for the 4th of July weekend was far from unpleasant.
Hey, oh, yeah. Today was a good day.
The annual American Pride Ride ends with a fireworks celebration called Set the Night to Music at the Elmira Corning Regional Airport in Horseheads, New York. The fireworks also rely heavily on good weather conditions. The city of Boston, for instance, had to move up their 4th of July fireworks display to the 3rd in advance of possible impacts from then Hurricane Arthur.
Because forget the calendar, the 3rd is now the 4th, and the show will hopefully go on.
We plan for everything, if you will, but it's not an optimal plan.
Tropical Storm Arthur is the unwanted guest, now making history by moving the celebration up a day.
Just down the road in Tioga, Pennsylvania, at the Tioga-Hammond Lakes, Route 287 was lined on both sides with vehicles as families gathered to watch the annual 4th of July fireworks celebration. These families prepare for not only the chance of rain and storms, but also the temperature.
It's kind of cold out, but it's nice out. It's just a little cold.
So you make sure you look at the weather forecast before you head out to see if it's going to be chilly.
Raining, yeah.
Yeah, make sure it's not raining.
Yeah.
Grab the jacket too.
Yeah, just so it isn't snowing.
There you go. As evident during the summer months, the weather is constantly changing. Showers and thunderstorms may pop up without much warning. Plan accordingly so Mother Nature doesn't catch you off guard. For Weather or Not, I'm Ryan Belz.
All right, let's take one more look at this weekend's forecast before we get to next week's forecast. Friday's looking very nice for anyone heading out to enjoy Arts Festival here in State College. High of right around 80 degrees, overnight low of around 63. Beautiful sunny skies. Be sure to head outside and enjoy it. More of that good weather lasting into our Saturday, though a bit warmer, highs in the around 84 degrees. But then on Sunday, we do see a chance for showers to start moving in, especially in the afternoon hours. So you might want to take an umbrella if you're heading to the Sunday afternoon festivities outside. And then as we take a look at the week ahead, we have another system moving through early in the week that'll bring us rain and the chance for some thunderstorms on Monday and into our Tuesday. But then behind that system, we see much cooler air move into our area, bringing our temperatures down well below average, down to the mid-70s for highs, but clear skies for the end of the week. So if you don't get a chance to head outside and enjoy the weather this week, hopefully you will get a chance to head outside and enjoy it at the end of next week. Brad?
Well, thank you, Christy, and that brings us back to our Weather Whiz Quiz, which was how many hurricanes have made landfall in the United States since the year 2000? Was it A, 9, B, 15, C, 18, or D, 22? Well, if you answered D, 22, you're correct. The most recent of those was, of course, Arthur just this past weekend.
That's right, but what's most notable about that statistic, Brad, is that 11 of those hurricanes hit in 2004 and 2005 alone. So those 2 years were very busy in the tropics. We saw more than half the storms we've seen since 2000 in just those 2 years.
Yeah, and of course remember hurricanes like Katrina and Rita happening both in 2005. But actually, notably, the strongest hurricane at landfall since 2000 was Hurricane Charlie. That was back in August of 2004. It was a Category 4 storm when it came ashore, winds of 150 miles per hour. But it was so small of a hurricane that it really didn't cause as much damage as it could have, causing less damage than Katrina, which, though it was weaker, covered a larger area and hit a more vulnerable area.
That's right, and Arthur this past weekend didn't create much damage along the eastern coast, but hurricane season peaks towards the end of August, beginning of September time, so we have plenty of time left this hurricane season to see more activity in the tropics, so we'll have to stay tuned for more on that.
And of course, we'll hope things stay quiet. All right, well, that's going to do it for this edition of Weather or Not. I'm your host, Brad Gay.
And I'm your forecaster, Christy Reuille. Have a wonderful weekend.